And you have to be 36 months in. And then after that, you qualify for whatever that 3 year, because you have to have 3 years of data before they can give you that profitability bonus. So you start it, and if you're not a tenured agent, you are. If you're not a tenured agent, you don't get it until you are a tenured agent and have 36 months of tenure with country. So it's not 36 months as a tenured agent, it's 36 months total. So, so once you have that, then you grow. Oh, sorry.
I missed all that second.
I don't know.
I don't know why. No, you were like,
Once you have 36 months of tenure,
okay.
then at that point, you are now qualified for a profitability bonus. And so I think you have a time here.
Yeah, I was just curious. I saw the line on there on that report. So
No, it is. Yeah, those are some good bonuses for some people. Like you write good business and you don't have a lot of losses.
yeah,
Country, that's part of the comp program of being a tenured agent, not only commissions, but you also get that profitability, and that can be good, you know, for some people, it's like upwards of 50 grand.
yeah.
Just get a check for, you know, here's 50 grand. So I'm saying that's
Yeah,
it's in March. It's in March. So it's paid out, yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Right. Well, we are, I guess, gonna give Devin and their parties some time, so we'll give him a chance. But how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun?
Hot Springs. Yes, went to the hot springs. The wife and daughter, son had to work, which was good for him. It was yeah, highly suggested if you guys never been out to Crane Hot Springs. It's a 2.5 hour drive. Crane Hot Springs out towards Burns.
Oh, okay.
All my aches and pains don't hurt anymore. So I was like, oh, maybe I could go back in the ring one more time. No. Yes, it was, man, it was so good to just X X out of the world and not go on any emails or any of that and just kind of go there for a day. It was much needed. Need to do that more often.
You know, part of this is really taking care of yourself, right? It is important, especially in this role of making sure, you know, you're not only physically you're taking care of yourself, but mentally, spiritually, you know, all of those combined put you being your best, right? For your clients, for yourself, for your staff, you know, all those things. So it's important to take some time to do that. You know, I say that and then I laugh because I was just having a conversation with my husband over the weekend that was like, I can never disconnect. Never. I mean, not more than a couple days for sure, because I always have things. I have, you know, you guys need things, and you know, it's probably I can get better at making sure that I don't react to my inbox all the time, which, you know, there's times where I send, like Kelly has been out for all last week, and I would send her emails and expecting her to address them when she gets back, you know, like it wasn't anything that she didn't have to, but she wasn't like away. She was just taking PTO because she had it. This is not meant for you to react to, you know, none of it was urgent at all, but I could probably fall in the same pit, right? Of to get a hold of, do I just react, make sure this goes away, or do I actually take it off? You know, so it's hard. It's hard for me. Very hard.
So I got a question. I had a situation that's happened twice already. It's regarding a life application or life person that wrote life insurance. And what happened is this is the second time that she's actually not been paying her bills, and she's like, I'm trying to put her on automatic payment, which will probably be the easiest thing for everyone to and then I don't doesn't fall through the cracks. So this is the second time I have to now rewrite her. She has to go back with all these information that I'm gonna end up having, I guess, documentation that she needs to fill out. And it is a lot of work on my side to just keep her active, and she keeps on not paying her bills and it's discontinued. So how do you suggest you handle that? I mean, I wanna basically not,
So Jimmy, it depends, like, can you verify like what
Okay.
type of billing?
I have
you're trying to
Mercy
get
from
her on?
JCL on the back line,
Because
and they
if
can't
it's
get
an
up
old
to
series
the-
of life,
Yeah.
like that, so you know the difference between the new series and the old, and where to put her and all of that, right?
I'm learning that as we go through it.
Okay, so. But otherwise, like, I would spend a whole lot of time on it, you know.
Well, cause even if you set them. Yeah, you set them up on auto pay, it doesn't mean when they still don't have money in their account, it's caused a stigma issue. Cause the auto payment doesn't go through, and then it shows there's an issue and you still have to call. So to me, yeah, that's ideal if they're gonna get consistent in making sure the money's in the account will go through. But I have people on auto, like their auto, they just can't quite seem to remember that that's when it's due. It's the same every single month, not surprised, but they seem to not, it doesn't go through. And so it's on, and so that keeps it out of auto pay.
Gotcha.
And then you're just back to this square one again. You know what I mean? Cause then you gotta call and say,
Yep.
last month and this month, and do you wanna sign this again to set it up on automatic payments? I have a handful of these people.
Okay.
The same ones every month. So
Well-
at some point, you know, I mean, I'm trying to be fair, I still send them the same message I sent to everybody, like it's past due, there's a $20 late fee. You need to pay the fee, you're gonna need to go online and pay it, or you can call the service center, that's not probably fee, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, and that's easier because one that like Christine told me, like the service, the billing, they have so much more intel than what I can do, and they can go back a lot quicker and they know more parts of that. And for me to try to go down and learn the billing, I just like, this was past due and
Yeah.
here's this. That's where I do not, and I don't want my assistant. Yep.
Assistant will handle those for it, you should not be doing that.
Yes. No, and I'm not, it was funny because I flagged it on Friday and I was like, okay, I'll follow back on Monday. And sure enough, it was like, and it was the same, it was her brother that had that same incident. Christine that tried to do a errors and omissions on myself in Austin because the person wasn't paying their bills. And I'm like, oh,
Sorry,
yeah,
it doesn't work that way.
no. I mean, this would be good if everybody paid their bills on time and then, but yeah,
Isn't it amazing that you have, when you do pay your bills, you actually have coverage?
Yeah.
It's there for, I mean, I don't know, I get that people get in pickles, right? They do, and you have to, but it's not, you can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves.
Well, and I think once you're behind, how do you catch up unless you get a chunk of extra money, like you're always, once you let yourself get that way, now you add up all your late fees, I'm sure you're not the only place they're paying late. You know what I mean? It's the vicious cycle. Around with them, so some people really just gotta let it go. You know, you hate to lose a life policy, but they're the ones, I mean, if they don't pay it, they're gonna lose it, not much you can do, so. Did your new assistant start, Jimmy?
yes, yeah, she's in here with me right now. So we're double teaming
Right.
you guys with ears on, so. Which is,
Let me impress her and share, let's get to business here.
I like that one this morning. That was really good.
Yes, feed the right emotion. In life, both faith and fear will arise within you and choose which one will you choose which one will prevail. Someone once wrote, two natures beat within my breast. The one is foul, the other blessed. The one I love, the other I hate. The one I feed will dominate. I love that. That's a great one. The thing is, both of these emotions will always be present in you. The emotion you continually feed is the one that will dominate your life. You can't expect fear simply to disappear. You continually focus on your fears, entertain them, and give in to them, they will increase. The way to ultimately overcome them is to starve them. Don't give your fears any time of your time or energy. Don't feed them with gossip or negative news, shows, or frightening movies. Focus on your faith and feed it. The more energy and time you give it, the stronger it becomes. And anytime you feel afraid of doing something, but go ahead and do it anyways, you will be reprogramming your attitude. When you feel fear, it will mean go instead of stop and fight harder instead of give up. That's from the Difference Maker. What emotion are you feeding? Choose to feed your faith and courage. So, I agree 100% with that. What you focus on expands, right? I mean, you could all sorts of different phrases of if you would spend the time that you spend worrying, if you would kind of refocus that into taking action, like the minute that you feel fear come in and wonder and oh gosh, how am I going to make it? I need some more piff biff, whatever it may be. Instead of taking that time of worry, make a phone call. Call a life client, call a conversion client. I mean, those things where you, instead of, the first thing you have to do though is recognize that it's happening, right? Because all of us have deep trails in their brain that we have carved, that relate to how we handle stressful situations and fear and all those things. And it takes a while to carve a different path, but consistency helps that to happen. So, and we've all been there. Like I've been there. I've sat in your seat, Jimmy, Nancy. Like I've sat there going, oh, except back in my day. All right, now I'm not trying to say, hey, it was worse when I was there. But back in my day, if I didn't get one more policy, I was fired. And we're talking just even of I had to have so many units in order to keep my contract. And I remember one month I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't find. I've called everybody. I needed one more. It was an auto or rent, some sort of property casualty policy, because I was great at life financials. That's not my issue. But property casualty wasn't so good at. And so every month I struggled with that because it wasn't my focus, I guess you would say. And then, except this one my contract was a 3-month period. It wasn't every single month, right? So within a 3-month period, a quarter, I had to have so many. And I remember my 2 office mates, and I had 2 days left in the month, and I was like, that's it. I'm going to get fired, And they said, what do you need? And I said, I need one policy. And they're like, here, take it. And they gave it to me. And, then I was able to, keep my job. But those are those things where, no, it is. It was, absolutely. But I think I only had to experience that one time where I was like, never again. And then it was all right, I never, wow. Yep. And that's,
Went through a lot of new agents, retraining people. They're firing people. You know what I mean?
That's when they were on the salary, right? So we all got that base salary, and it was $36,000. Don't be impressed by saying base salary. It wasn't that much, but in order to help pay for itself, you had to produce. Today, you can do nothing. right? Continue your contract. It wouldn't do you any good, wouldn't do you any good, because you wouldn't be able to pay rent and all those things, so, you know, pick your poison, that's kind of how I look at it. But, focusing on, activity, focusing on that instead of, dwelling on, I'm not where I wanna be, well then, if you continue to dwell on it, you'll never. And you have to like tell yourself, okay, what action am I gonna take? Cause I recognize where I'm at right now. What is your go-to? So, all right. Started with that. Let's share some good news. Share some good news about your business last week.
Go for it, Nancy. Ladies first.
Too many activities. I literally cannot get to the things, all the things that I want to do and just that I'm working on. So, you know, it's a good problem. I'm learning how to manage that and how to turn it off also on Saturday and Sunday and not keep going. But I had a young couple come in. It was a referral. They were buying their first house together. Did I tell you guys this already? And they were, well, no, because I don't think I had met them.
No.
I did the quotes for them and they're getting married this Sunday because they don't want to live together without being married. So they're getting doing like a ceremony just with the family. And so they can't, I told them, well, why don't you come in and we'll talk. Last Friday, feels like forever ago. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, so crazy. And they were like, yeah, we're just talking and I was giving them some motherly advice because they're my son's age and they said, well, you need mortgage protection for this house, but they're borrowing $420,000. Let's talk about that. You know, what would happen if something happened to him? What would you do? Can you afford the house without her fiance? She's like, no. And so I did 2 applications for life for them on Friday. So it's fun when wasn't forced, it wasn't, you know, planned and it wasn't. My list, you know, necessarily ones that I've been trying to get. Sometimes those seem easy for me lately. The ones that are surprises seem to be more jumping out at me when I have it on my mind. That I'm like,
Those are, that's that consistency, Nancy. It's you're building in that conversation where it comes so naturally because you're advising this couple, right? Anybody that you get in front of, you're advising them. So what would be the next point of conversation? The concern that you would have that they need to be concerned with too is what you described. So
Yeah.
as the advisor, you're doing what you're supposed to do, right? You're not trying to sell them anything. You're trying to say,
Right.
hey, I just want to advise you because this is what you come to me for. And this is
Yeah.
the next step in the process is we've taken care of this piece, but I also have to talk to you about this piece.
Yeah, it was really good. I felt really happy after and just felt like, okay, this is how it's supposed to go, you know? I just wish
Yeah.
there was more hours in the day because I feel like sometimes then I lose my happiness because I'm just feeling so bogged down, like, well, that ended up being a 2.5-hour appointment that now I do get to this, and this, and that bothers me a lot. So I'm just trying to figure that out. And then you just can't just keep going, you know? I mean, you could, but I know what the end result is on that, so. Yeah. So,
How are you doing, Nancy? How are you doing with delegation? Are you doing it?
yeah, this is still so much like that we need to do together to learn it. You have to have that repetition of doing it, you know? I didn't learn it overnight. I'm still learning, there's still things. So that's hard because it does take so much time, you know? A navigator's given us all kinds of problems this last week. So, you know, dealing with that kind of stuff, sometimes things that frustrates me when I'm just splitting out a drive around the household, just trying to do an auto quote for a 22-year-old, but mom doesn't want the mom, and it's like literally going on for 2 weeks now. I feel like just saying, okay, send her over to Progressive because it doesn't work in our system to do that. It should, but does it? It just, I've added her in a separate household, I've been changing an address, like. Things like that really bog me down where I know I'm just such a time sucker, you know? And I can't train someone how to do that, like I can't even, IT can't even figure it out, underwriting can't figure it out. That kind of stuff is
Yeah,
like really tough.
it slows the process down.
It really does, and I'm so thankful we're getting rid of Navigator, and I said that in year one, that I'm glad they've addressed that, like, it's not just obviously a few things, there's so many things, so I'm so glad
We're
Yeah.
limping to the finish line. That's how I put it, is we're limping. We're limping,
better
so.
late than never. I mean, I would have reacted much sooner from me, I don't know how all that works, but I mean, this is not fair to us when we're trying to sell, we're trying to do our jobs, it's
No.
like.
It was, I will tell you, Nancy, decisions that weren't made, we're talking 10 years ago, right? Like, that we had leadership that, how do I say it, didn't want to spend the money, like the profits, things like that. And when you have people in leadership that are so old school and conservative, and they're like, no, like, it's coming, the technology is coming at us.
Yeah.
No matter what you think,
Yeah. They're losing money. Or you can just give up on, because it's like, it's.
Oh, sure.
Too far.
Yeah, so, we pulled the trigger on a lot of things in the past 5 years. A lot. Right, so now it's we're in the muck of the transition. And it will get better, right? Absolutely.
Jeremy. There was something, I think it's the most intense first day,
Yeah.
I know we'll talk a little bit about, to think that one. About
For day one, yeah. That's true, you gotta address specific things. So, and these are really just, hey, let's hop on, let's, support, let's talk through, what can we learn, how's your week, what do you got planned, how can we help with that? So, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Good news from last week.
Oh, well, I did a first chiropractic office, and he had 8 of his staff employees there. So I'm gonna send them out leads on Canopy to quote their insurance. They should have done it before, but I was telling them, hey, got your address, so I know where you guys live. You guys don't want me showing up in my ninja outfit and you'd be in trouble.
Tell on what does it mean when you say, I did a chiropractic office?
Oh, well, so this is a guy that I've trained, well, used to visit him a lot. And I was like, it's time tables are turned, but I wanted to give a self-defense lesson to his staff. So all of his staff, I told him, hey, fill out my waiver. My waiver is separate from country's waiver because it's my business, this martial arts side of things. So I ended up getting all their names, emails, phone numbers. So now I'm just gonna follow up with them and told them, hey, part of this Oregon self-defense thing is that I'm gonna give you guys a free rate comparison guide. And it's not gonna cost you anything, and it's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna plug on all of them and let them know, like, hey, I need your driver's license and date of birth, and then pretty much I got everything else in there. Those were 2 things that I didn't have. So, and I finally got a question when I was at a buddy's house, and through natural conversations as opposed to scripted, he ended up sending me his information on Canopy, and this is going to be a good one because I wrote it when I was at the Independent, but he has like all his vehicles, his snowmobiles, his house, his recreational vehicles, boats, motorcycles, and autos. So I'm like, man, but the only downfall is he had a couple of at-fault accidents too. So it was good leads to just start talking and getting back out there instead of being behind this desk. And I think this was a curse to myself because I was like trying to service all this stuff and not trying to not leave people high and dry, but dedicated like when my assistant's here, I'm gonna be in here, but then the other days, I'm gonna be out in the field. Collecting data, information, and kind of doing a little bit of both all the way through and getting quotes out a lot quicker than what I was able to do and just yeah, learning through the stages and going through the motions.
Love it. I love it. I love how you are combining those two opportunities and just keep your eye on how successful you are with that and what you can speak and ask for feedback and things like that. I don't know how I see it all the time, right? But I don't know how often you see it. But I get feedback and it's just popped in my mind, Jimmy, when you were talking and I don't know why I didn't get this before. But you know how you send an email to the life team and they always say, hey, all work is done first in, first out. We give ourselves at least 48 hours to respond to a message. Like if you have, something impending and you put a message in on Navigator, through the policy itself and on impending and you message back, through Navigator. You guys know what I'm talking about on the system. Were you aware that it puts you to the beginning of the queue again? Like if you have not given them 48 hours and you message, hey, can you give me an update through that message portal? It puts you like at the beginning of that 48-hour process. So I'm just telling you, don't do that. Give it 48 hours for them to respond and message through Live Team One, not through the portal. All right, so I just read an email that explained that, but that's just an extra. All right, really my idea is, what is wrong with you creating some sort of best practice within your agency that states, hey, give me 24 to 48 hours for a response. And it's a first in, first out. I respond first in, first out. You can think of, gosh, if somebody wants a quote, I don't want to tell them it's gonna be 2 days before I get back to them. All right, so you can kind of filter some of those out. But if it's just service, hey, I want to add an auto or I want to, whatever that is. What are some stumbling blocks or obstacles to you creating a best practice of 24 to 48 hours? First in, first out response.
See,
Yeah, but if you get a
I really-
binder request,
Well, that's what I'm saying, is those things you would, like, I don't know, star and you would filter those out, right?
yeah, they'll just start blowing you up if you don't respond the same day. I noticed that, they're like, I'm like, well, I'm meeting with the client, like I kind of need to talk to them before I give it to you, but okay, you need it today, like I try to buy myself time, but then it's like, oh, I need it today to get the tender ready.
So those are like I said, those are the ones you would filter out or have a best practice within your agency, that those have an asterisk next to them. And you would say, okay, these are immediate within, a few hours of receiving it, if possible, right? But all the other stuff, like, it's the harm, what's the harm in creating a business practice of first in, first out? Let's do that now.
I ended up getting a renter's insurance that if you needed a quote or needed it coverage that day. So I was like, okay, and I ended up doing it, but I had a meetings and it was like, okay, I'm gonna go do this. And then afterwards I came back and sure enough, I figured it out. How? I don't know, but I ended up doing it because she was back and forth. I was all, as soon as you e-signature, I need both of them because I'm putting them on automatic payment. I was all, for us to bind this, I need you to sign both of those documents ASAP today, not like, because it expires in 24 hours and I was too lenient in letting people like, oh, respond back when you want. No, as soon as I send it, sign it and let me know. I know you're working, but this is all via email. So that is, yeah, I was like, just sign it ASAP.
Did you get the auto with it?
She already has auto with us. She was just moving. yeah, but,
It's a hit.
oh. Well, no, but,
Need a few bucks.
yeah, well. Well, and this is,
Yesterday.
yeah, it's,
That is where
Well, that's funny,
like,
because I was
if you look
talking
at our
to.
best agent, now I,
whoever
mentioned, if you're on our leadership call last
your
week, I mentioned about Sean Connor. And his throughput on his
Yeah.
percentage on his life insurance policy, his life apps. Close to 100%. Right, that means every app that he
And so
puts
now
in,
they're decommissioned.
he's done pre-underwriting on it for himself. He knows that that we'll be able to write this, right? And
So are they just doing 9 to 10?
he only writes business that needs to be placed. You know what I mean? So those are the things. Now, of course, I'm comparing somebody who has probably one of the most stellar business models in our whole company, right? But it starts with just little baby steps of things that you implement into your process that get you further down the road, right? Towards that perfect model that you're trying to create. So a lot of it is Sean Connor. So he's in Willamette Valley. That is, yeah, Sean Connor. And, like I said, he's like the ultimate model, but just take bits and pieces of that. And when you're, if you are so reactive, and we talked about this in the leadership too, was if you are so reactive, it's a time sucker. It will suck you dry. Because what if
Oh,
you have 20 emails that come in that all need attention?
oh.
But you're like, no, I need to make some life appointments. Like, which one wins out and why?
And reviews, and those are scheduled from the start center, usually the worst times. I feel like that really takes some time out of your day, like days that I don't have that, I'm like, oh, I keep trying to catch up, but like that
I
just
put
is
that
seven,
down on the
you can
account.
do in a day, plus
So
your
that
normal
was
amount of
fun.
stuff. And you're trying to do business or do anything, like, it's impossible. It's
But
not without.
Nancy, like you can control that, right? You can control
Somebody
when
says you're
customer
supposed to do
service
that.
or the marketing center puts those on your calendar, right?
I can turn it off and have us just call instead of.
No.
Telling you that.
bookings.
And he says they can do it on site.
Yeah,
if they
take
start
your
doing
hours
it.
of
I don't know if he's at twice, but,
Yeah.
but I mean, this was the conversation I had.
I mean, for what, like, why did
Nice.
make it where I could only do one in a day, I
This was
mean, I
a
feel like I
conversation
did
we
so.
had.
Here's,
I'm just
let me
confused.
encourage you a little bit,
My
because yes,
assumption
the
is
answer
you
is
got
yes.
this.
Yes, I would do that, absolutely. So, when I call, last week I called because I needed a new dentist, right? And I called the dentist and I said, hey, I'm a new client, I need to get a cleaning.
Right.
All right, well, we're accepting, appointments in December. I'm like, all right, well, guess I can't get in until that day because all of the other new patient appointments were already taken.
Right.
So set your hours and they'll book out as far as they need to.
Yeah,
I mean, this is where I cannot encourage enough for you to have control over your business model, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is a, hey, she's booked 3 weeks out. You know, here's my next appointment available on her calendar.
right, that being accommodating is also like.
It's stunting your growth. That's what I was saying. It is.
I'm really like craziness, this feels like that's not working, so yeah, definitely something has to change, or just trying to sift through to figure out what to change first, you know, like being just there for everybody, doing all the things and being available all the time and on all the time, it's just not working, not serving you well. I don't think exactly. Yeah.
So really take more control over, like, you're gonna prioritize, and we're gonna talk about this. I know both of you are signed up for our business plan presentations. And those are so important to make sure that you are modeling what you want your business to look like in 2026. right?
Yeah.
Take what you've learned in 2025 and how do you want to change? Well, if you could create the perfect model for like the bones of what you want to focus on, what are your, what I would call your mock initiatives, that's what the company calls their efforts of their focuses for 2026. And one of that might be, gosh, I don't want to do one review a day, because the rest of it, because you're playing such offense, you have those agents that are, yeah, I do 3 reviews a day. Okay, like, when do you meet your clients and when do you network and when do you market, when do you do all those things?
I think some people don't, and they exactly decide like what they like, but I'm trying all the things, and then you're like, this is not working, like this can't happen like that, I'm just working 15 hours a day and reading your computer on working at night, so.
I don't schedule any coaching sessions unless it's absolutely necessary. On any day other than Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's it.
Yeah,
You do a session with me, it's all, unless I'm traveling and then, I catch it on, and I have to, but. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's it. And those are purposeful because I look at my days on Monday and Friday and I'm like, just what you described. Phew, like I don't have any, like I can get some other things done, some planning, some, some things that I do every Monday, like Monday motivation. Like I've gotta get that done. I gotta, and so if you crave those days, Nancy, where you don't have any reviews at all, create a day, create it purposely.
Only Monday, it's not a review day, especially at 9 AM, like, are you kidding me? So why did I not fix that on my calendar? It literally happened last week, and I'm just like, God, I can't even. Yeah.
And for those clients that are like, gosh, the only day I can do is Monday. That's my day out. Like I have Sunday, Mondays off and I can't do any other day but that. Then you accommodate, right? And in unique situations where you would be available or you get to a point where you're teaching your assistant to, do that if, because your assistant's licensed. So that's a great thing,
Yeah.
So at some point you may expand the easy reviews to open up a little bit more, but this is what I really want to encourage is that you don't be scared to control your calendar.
Yeah, well, like, they came in Friday at 3, that was like the only time because he was working over the coast and he was driving back. Of course, I said, sure, I love Friday at 3.
Well, and then you end on a good note, right? You got a couple life apps.
I don't know, yeah, I did, but if I don't feel happy, then I gotta figure something else out, cause that didn't even, that didn't even make up for how the rest of it went, so I gotta figure it out. That's my goal today.
And Nancy, you are growing at a pace that is stellar, right? I mean, I look at your numbers and I'm like, wahoo, way to go, and so with that comes, it's under the growing pains of being able to handle all that. So this is a good, I look at it as a great problem that you have to figure out and really start setting a precedence with your clients that come in, your referrals, your current clients that were assigned. I mean, just start, hey, I'm gonna teach you, train you on when I do things, how long I need to respond, and that doesn't fit within your paradigm. I'm, happy to have you, but there's the door. If we need to. Because you'll have plenty of people that will appreciate that, absolutely. And if you're not at your best, you're not worth anything to your clients at that point anyway. I don't,
And definitely. Yeah, and doing planner, like trying to do that, it is not working for me. That's why I brought it here to get that style. I can't. Oh, then it's like now changing emails of late. I'm just like, I don't know how to do it. What's wrong with me? It's too many things. It's actually not helping. Just like, I feel overwhelmed. So, yeah, work on that today. We're gonna hit that when I'm done with this call, like, what did we do last week? My gosh, I called and emailed over the weekend and things I forgot to do that I had somehow made a task for, so. And I asked Cora, she said, Nancy, it took me 2 years, like I'm still, she said, it's not that easy. So are you using it, Jimmy?
I'm getting better, but I'm also old school. I got, well, you can't see this, but I don't know if I can, gosh, dang it. Oh, wait.
There you go.
Wait, so what I do is yellow is service, green is sales, red is life. Oops, sorry. Where is that? I'm fading out. Oh, but I don't, well, it's my notepad. It's like a planner that I need to do like physically, like write in there and keep track of it because planner is good, but it's also like I need a paper to go back and like at this time I'm stopping now. And it's just like what Christine was saying, time blocking and all that. But it's just this way I remember, okay, at this time, and then I set alarms on my phone to try to remind me to stop and go up to the next thing wherever I'm at as much as I can because if not, I am stuck in this service world and it is like, it is draining and it is time consuming. And I mean, and I have to, and I'm learning this as I'm going through this and making sure that when I go in there, like, okay, now I understand a little bit more, like I need to focus more on writing new business, even though it's a gift for servicing the business, but it's also so much more work. And now to have Alicia, who's my assistant, is going to help me with that. And we're going to grow together. And it's going to be, it's going to be amazing because now it's like, okay, I just need that extra help because me trying to do it these last 5 months, man, I've been pulling my hair out, not knowing and trying to learn.
that's-
And
I expect to, right? It's a gift and it's a curse. Book is a gift, book is a curse. And, it's not always, you look at it through the recruiting process and even the company says, oh, we need book of business to recruit people. And I'm like, not necessarily, not necessarily. Like, I got. Does not want book. He's like, heck no. He said, I don't want to, I want to be out and I want to bring in I want to create my own, business and I want to create my own clients and I want to, my list is so long. He's worked in Toyota as a sales guy on internet sales for 14 years. He says, I have 8,000 clients
wow.
that I have the VIN numbers, I have, oh yeah, absolutely. He has a list, he has everything.
Yeah.
So, he goes, I don't want to get bogged down in other people's problems. Like, no. So, I mean, so he's a unique situation, right? But we can always, Jimmy, and you're like, even Nancy, in your situation too, we can always look back at hindsight's 2020, where, all right, let's go back to where we were first interviewed. And if I would have said, you come on scratch, where you wouldn't have any of this, would that have been a positive thing for you? You probably would have, well, I'm not doing it then, because I need some support, right? So then you get the support, and then you're bogged down and behind the desk and servicing, and then you're not out selling, right? So
It's
it's
lose. Yeah, I mean, they don't do the salary anymore. I think I would have rather that back in the day, but I would have liked the part about being fired. That was actually math. I'm like, really, you're gonna fire me? Then what?
So it's where you have to figure it out. You have to, like, since when does a current client get prioritized over bringing in new ones? Like, I get it, because you want to retain that, but at what cost?
Yeah, but that's like your country's bread and butter. I mean, if it wasn't for those clients there, I mean, compared to taking care of the ones that you have, and then, I mean, that's where I'm kind of lost and confused.
It's to the country's benefit.
Yeah,
Is it to your benefit? Is it to your benefit? Right now, when you look at what, so we're not looking for, what traction does an agent have that is stuck servicing a book of business? All you're doing then is, again, you're receiving, right? So you're receiving some commissions off of what the book is producing for you.
right.
Now
And
we're in you're in month 5 right now you're getting closer and closer to, the enhanced commission multiplier decreasing. Right?
Right.
Because you've been servicing and not taking advantage of, and I'm not saying you're not, I'm just saying this is the pit that you find yourself in. Of every month that goes by that you're not producing business and taking advantage of that multiplier and the enhanced commission, you're getting closer and closer to it.
Oh, you were frozen.
And so why is it that the current book of business takes precedence over going out and selling?
Well, because one, this book of business was neglected and people were pissed off. Every time I get on a call, I'm like, oh, okay, let's come over here and talk to me like that in person, please. Like Vince, like there was a person that should have canceled or the prior agent never canceled their business, and this was or their home policy back in January. I was like, I wasn't even here back in January. I was like, so here's what we can do today. We can only backdate it 14 days until I need documentation because I'm calling underwriting to make sure that I'm going to be crossing my T's and dotting my I's to make sure that I'm telling the client the right information. But this is like, okay, yeah, now I'm like, okay, I need to just, it sucks, but it's like, yeah, I understand that, but I'm not like, oh, I'm not going to service you. I'm trying to figure that part out at the same moment. It is.
I'm devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get across the point at some point. You have to say, uncle, like I can't sit behind my desk anymore.
Yep.
I have to go out. I have to bring in new business. This is stifling my growth.
100%.
Multiply. But Jimmy, I think that's like a perfect one. Well, I don't know if they were just canceling one thing, but here's my take, because I've seen both of your perspectives and I agree with both of them, but it's also, that's a perfect one that you can practice saying, I'm gonna have to transfer you over to the service center. They will take care of backdating it. They can reach out to underwriting. They can say what happened. They can do, they're great at all the documentation. Much better than I am at writing all the details about calls, which I hate to do. They're amazing. And the person's leaving anyway, so like, are they gonna take precedence over a call like running your entire practice office? No, you want your time spent. I agree with service is like top on my list, like as in the top 3 most important things is like giving amazing service to every single one of my existing clients as well as the new ones, right? It's so important. But what can like Christine say to me, I need to take my own advice, what could I delegate even to the service center prior to having an assistant? What could I've not went to the time sitting on hold for underwriting. So think of those things, right? There's 30 minutes. Oh, now I gotta call the person back, and now I gotta actually document all that. So like just prioritizing your tasks. Think of like put them in order. So new business, always number 1.
Yep.
Always gonna be get to shoot ahead of everything else because I got a referral. I'm not gonna not call that person back and sit there for an hour on the phone to take all their information. I'm not gonna just call my service once back. Were they gonna wait for you? Or are they gonna go down the road and call the farm? Right? But like your number 1 thing always has to be call the person back. And if it was a referral from a client, it's a referral from one of your COIs, whatever, that doesn't really matter. Who referred that, call them back. That's number 1, like Rob was doing, call them back. Because they might be calling 3 places that way. But if you didn't even call, you're just like got yourself in the mud. This in my opinion, it's just my opinion. So like prioritize the task that has to be the number 1. Like I spent all this time, I got a winery. I was like literally want to cry, and I don't want to like no, I can't do this. She has a house and a winery and it's so complicated, a tasting room, and it's actually a restaurant. And literally like on the phone, like probably like about to be like I thought you were calling about something else, like oh my god, total time buster. But I'm like, she's amazing. Like after getting off the phone, I set it for this Wednesday because she didn't have to do it that like that day. I did a little pre-work and then it's like, okay, I've had all weekend to think about how am I gonna fit that in? How many strategize? You could be in it, and it was a referral. so like, I had to call her right back, you know? And person who referred her was somebody new that I just wrote who has a life experience. He actually talked to me on Friday, he's like, did you talk to her? You know, so like, what if I was like, no, I'm so busy with service work, sorry, Brian, I'm gonna get to that, right? I'm like a real loser, right? Like, she's like, well, I don't think I'm gonna refer anything to Nancy again. Can we make time to call this person back? Who I told that person how great she was. Well, I don't seem real great, you know, if that's her first impression. Or she has to call me again, that is like mortal sin in my book. Like, if they have to call me again to get me, then I have not done my job, you know, that has to be, like, you have to put those people first, service can wait, especially casting something that already wasn't even your
And it
fault.
wasn't your issue, that's the whole
Not
thing
your
is,
issue.
absolutely, and so I wanna encourage, like, just take today, take one day at a time.
Yep.
And say, what am I gonna do today to make sure I don't fall into the pit? Right? What do I need to do to further my business with new business? Right? Because at the end of the day, like, I would want to my whole business is based on someone else's book, you know? Like,
That
no,
you're
I
trying
wanna,
to renew and get
Yeah.
paid on. Ooh, that's not that exciting. It's like, that's not.
I wanna create my own. Yes,
Yeah.
my own.
Like, that are. But I agree, sort of service them. You don't wanna let those people down. You don't wanna not give a call back, but if you set the expectation each time you talk to one, whether it's in a review or, oh, gosh, you know, you don't realize how many calls I get a day. You know, thank you for calling, but, in the future, if you ever can't get me, you know what I say? Always feel free to call the service center. 66 countries, super easy. They're there, like, especially meets up on it. Maybe I've left or went to, you know, I give examples like, hello, you're not the only one. The world doesn't start sucks if you called. Like, people on Saturday, what about a new car? All right, email me the bid and who you finance it with. I'll add it Monday morning. You know, oh, should I drive over to the office for you? Let me go get you a ID card? I mean, come on. They'll let you take the car, you know, show them your ID card. I have to literally coach them up, like, show me that you have insurance, or, you know, and
You have, in the state of
30 days.
Oregon, 30 days.
Yeah.
30
I
days.
don't like that, it makes me nervous. Of course, I can add it first thing Monday morning for you, but like, coach them, so then maybe the next time they're not making you crazy, you know, like, oh yeah, Jimmy's probably busy, let me just shoot an email instead of calling, you know? So much quicker, you can just say, no problem, or ask a question and write back, it takes a second versus a phone call, phone tag, and oh, if how many times you call them, they call you, you're on the phone, you just said. So like, you'll find smarter ways to be more efficient, you know, with the stuff that you do have on your plate.
This isn't a pick on Jimmy.
Oh, no, hey, no,
Alright.
that's all good, no.
Make sure you know that, but it is the sense of urgency and for everybody on.
Yeah.
And this is a pit, and I always say the pit, right? Because it is, everyone, there's people that have been stuck in the pit for 2 years. You know, based on when we started doing home conversion and all of that, because that creates, and we're an auto conversion, that creates service, right? And like this conversation has been for the past 24 months of proof to me why it's more of a priority to service a client than go out and get new business. Like, prove me wrong. Nobody's ever been able to prove me wrong on that. Unless it's like this huge client that brings in 10 grand of premium, you know, all of that. Okay, I get it. Then you want to make sure you prioritize them. But prove me wrong that retaining a client, and I get it from a marketing standpoint too. It's more expensive to go out and try and get a new client than retain the one you have. But that's all you're doing is retaining. You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yep, nope, I got 8 more leads right in there, see, all these people. I was all, plus I know what you guys look like, so don't let me see you on the street when I don't get their quote, no. Oh. Well, and Yeah, and that's the easiest thing that I'm getting in. I was so cooped up, like trying to figure out all this stuff and trying to learn it all. And I'm like, you know what? This is not my forte. Like the servicing, there's so much that I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn a little bit every day and go in, but then I'm going to go back into what I can do naturally. And I can talk, I can go into businesses, which I missed because I was like, oh man, I can break the ice with anybody, and it's a fun game. It's like chess. How do I get in to the owners and all of this stuff and the gatekeepers, and I make them like feel more valuable than and appreciate it too. And I was like, man, the thing was for you holding down the fort, because man, without you, they would be going crazy. So, no, yeah.
Yes, so use it.
I am, and that's the whole thing. So I had a question for you, Christine, too. Like, my contract's for a year. What happens after that year? Does that just rolls over, or how does that?
But you're correct.
Yes, yes.
Oh, no, it's not, like, it's not just a year, it's not temporary,
Oh,
permanent contract, so until we change the contract, you're under contract with us. We can't at any point, discontinue the contract.
oh, that's a one-way street, man. Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
this is,
All right.
but it would take, this, full transparency, it would take a lot for us to discontinue your contract.
Yeah.
All right, it's not like, this is actually what we have from a leadership standpoint, what we have asked for is a temporary contract. So we can discontinue after a year if we feel it's not working. And country hasn't come up with that yet. Because I truly feel like there are instances where I'm like, this is like, I've done everything I can, and this person just isn't working at all. Like they don't have an assistant. They're just, and I look at their paychecks and I'm like, how do you even pay rent? Like how is this, how do you not have another job at this point? And these are current people on our team. And I'm like, how do you survive with that? You're not like, I don't know if you have a side job and this is just like an extra for you, it's that you're treating it, but we do have people like that on our team that district leaders, we have begged for a temporary contract. So we can.
But with that being said, tenured people who've been on the team, can you eliminate that at any time also? That's good. It's like somebody really is just kind of deadly.
It would take, it's like a 1-year process to do so. Yeah.
So it's not, it's like.
We've had, no, it's documentation, meetings, all of that, prove to us that, and I go, you just look, they haven't written a thing in a year. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it should have been a year.
So no, I mean, it's not temporary, you're locked in, you're not on my radar.
Good. Okay. I was just making sure. Do I have to have the fist bumps to the teacher? I don't know what that is.
All right, I'll let you guys go. Have a great week.
Thank you.
You know,
All right, see you.
everybody's
Bye.
Bye.